Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome. I'm doing the biggest silver giveaway I've ever done on my channel tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss this. The winner is going to be a very lucky person. If you want a chance to enter, you got to be a subscriber, but click the link in the description to enter or click the pinned comment on this video. I also got to shout out Arthur Moritz, Joshua Godso, Hector Gutierrez, and Terry Schaefer for becoming members of the Slayer Elite. If you want to join, you also will be entered into a second giveaway, a members only giveaway tomorrow. So these people are essentially going to get two chances to win some very, very expensive silver. And the odds are definitely in their favor because I have about 33 members. So they have a 1 out of 33 chance of winning. If you also want to join, click the join button next to the subscribe button. Now, the world's years away from running out of silver. This stuff is critical to know. This is also why you got to be subscribed, because on a daily basis, I'm giving you the most important up-to-date information that you have to know as an investor. You cannot be blindly investing and expect to be successful. That's not realistic in today's day and age. There's too much happening, especially right now. So we have an article from the Silver Institute. When every time they release some information, we always have to break it down. We have to dissect it because this is like the holy grail. When they post stuff, everything they post is not only accurate, but it shows the numbers. This is a number game. This isn't a theory. This isn't any type of assumption. This isn't any type of, they give the specifics. They give the details, everything that we need to know, especially about supply and demand, which is one of the most influential factors in the silver stacking or precious metals world in general, is right here in front of us. And this is showing what the demand is. And physical silver, the investment demand is expected to surge by 27% in 2020. And we have a glimpse into 2021. And boy, oh boy, are we in for a long ride. So before we jump into this video, make sure to smash the like button. The link to these two articles will be in the description. So the world is years away from running out of silver. And look when this article was written, by the way, February 25th, 2016. I chose this article because they give a lot of foresight, right? They give a lot of foresight on what's happening over the next 4 years. And now we can check because now we have the actual numbers. So it's going to be kind of cool to see, what they projected, how accurate they were, but also looking forwards on how much more severe things are, and also what that's going to do to the price of silver. So this is what they talk about. They go in to talk about the global silver market could face a deficit of 126 million ounces by 2020 and could send silver prices surging. Now, were they accurate? We're about to find out in a second. So as the market fixates on the price of oil and other real assets, a dramatic scenario is building in the silver market. More than 2 billion ounces of silver have disappeared from the market over the last 10 years, and we could be facing an annual shortage of more than 100 million ounces by 2020. Not only is demand for silver surging and annual supply growth going nowhere, but much of our available silver is being buried in public landfills. As a major component in batteries, CDs, circuit boards, and electronics, people are literally throwing their silver in the trash. That may be something they soon regret as the world runs out of silver and prices skyrocket. And this is one of the things we talk about a lot. Since silver is used as an industrial metal, a lot of silver gets thrown away. Gold is reused, recycled, remelted, rescrapped, and that's because it's profitable to take gold out of laptops. It's profitable to pawn your jewelry. Silver, not so much. So, they talk about the demand surging and it cannot be stopped. And even looking at, nowadays, it still is getting, it's not going anywhere. It's not slowing down to even a single degree. Look at this. Exchange traded product investment for the first time surpassed 1 billion ounces, achieving a record high of 1.062 billion ounces. That's crazy. I don't think people can fathom how big that number is and how much silver that is. So I just wanted to highlight some of the key components of this article. They talk about, what the global silver demand is used for. And over the years, right, it's definitely changing. Back in 2016, this is what it was. But now It's more of electric vehicles, solar panels, the green energy revolution, things that they didn't even really know would happen. And plus, they didn't know there would be a global pandemic in 2020, which would heavily shift things and hurt demand or hurt the supply or the production even more. And that's kind of what the Silver Institute goes into in this article. So these are the highlights that they're talking about in this article. So the most significant development in the silver investment market this year has been the strength of silver-backed exchange-traded products, or ETPs. Investment in silver-backed ETPs surpassed 1 billion ounces for the first time, achieving a record high of 1.062. For the full year, Metals Focus forecasts an increase of 350 million ounces on end 2019 levels. So they were talking about 100 million ounces. This is 350 million ounces compared to last year's rise of 81 million ounces. Physical silver or physical investment is expected to surge 27% to 236 million ounces in 2020, which would be a 5-year high. The largest retail market for silver bullion bars and coins, the U.S. projected was 62% gains. The silver price has risen strongly, achieving an intra-year gain through November 13th of 38%. As the pandemic has led to a surge in safe haven demand, in terms of full-year average, Metals Focus expects the silver price to rise by 27% year over year to an average of $20.60. This would represent the highest annual average since 2013. So because of the pandemic-related lockdowns by several major producers, especially in Mexico and Peru and China, silver mine production expected to fall by 6% in 2020 to 780 million ounces. And that's key to know, because Mexico and Peru, Chile, China, they are definitely the top players in the game when it comes to digging silver out of the ground and producing silver. Mexico and Peru itself produce 40% of the global silver production. Those two countries alone, 40%. And they got hit hard by the pandemic, so production was definitely led to a halt. And even when production kicked back in, there was limited workers, right? A lot of safety precautions. And not only that, transporting or sending the silver around the world, there are so many borders and lockdown restrictions, that was even hard. So the pandemic has led a marked impact on silver demand, especially in March and April. Although demand has partially recovered, most areas are still on track for full year losses. Industrial fabrication, for example, is forecast to drop to a 5-year low. This is due to lockdown restrictions, supply chain disruptions, lowered inventory replenishment, and factories facing labor supply problems. So what we're saying here, what this article has said so far, is demand is boosting 27%, but supply has fallen 6%, and it's probably going to get worse. Now, that's dangerous. Low supply, high demand shoots the price up. That's investing 101. Now, things are even more extreme, because not only is the demand rising 27%, but it's going to get even higher, not only from the consumer world, not only from big business, from 5G towers, electric vehicles, etc., but also from individual investors like you and I. When the price of silver starts rising, that's when friends, family, your neighbors, it's on the news, mainstream media covers it, people are switching over from stocks, especially as the dollar collapses. People are going to look for safe haven metals like gold and silver. So every angle, every scenario is only going to drive silver higher with a higher demand, making it look more profitable, making it look more attractive to everyday investors, even people that's never invested a single penny in their life. So demand, and this is not just a year thing. This isn't just over the next year. They're talking about 2030 demand still rising with all the new industrial, technological, digital things that they're looking towards, that they're trying to achieve with 5G, with everything, not only just solar panels, this ion batteries, space equipment. I mean, silver is going to be needed more and more. And I don't see how the supply is going to be able to keep up with the demand. There's going to be a huge shortage, and we already see the first signs of a shortage, because that's why we see these high premiums on American Eagles. Why do you think American Eagles are almost as expensive as pandas? Why do you think there's $10, $15 premiums on a bullion coin that should be sold at spot price? We've never seen that before throughout the history of silver stacking. Throughout the history of precious metals, I've never seen APMEX charge $10, $15 over spot for an American Eagle. It's always been $2, $3. You know why? Because silver is becoming more scarce. There's a silver shortage, and that is the first sign, and it's only going to get worse. So now it kind of goes into other things, some of the uses I was talking about, silver oxide, and it helps keep solar panels dust free. Silver antibacterial coating, which silver can purify water, used a lot in space equipment. Global silver jewelry market impacted by the pandemic, and demand is expected to reset in 2021 with the forecasted increases in key markets. They have the military grade antibacterial smartphones uses silver-based technology. Silver oxide batteries help keep mercury out of landfills. Habanero peppers produce silver nanoparticles in eco-friendly ways. I mean, it's crazy. Honestly, like, I've never seen anything so beneficial and also used at such an innovative pace, especially with scientists. And also looking backwards a little bit, scientists found a way to make silver 40% stronger without losing any electrical conductivity. I mean, that's revolutionary stuff. I mean, think about it. Silver is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity, and electricity is used for everything. Nothing performs like silver. Nothing, no metal performs like silver. Nothing does. Even back in biblical days, ancient Egypt days, they saw silver was magical. They thought silver was magical because it could purify water and the way it responded with other elements. And even today, silver is the same. Nothing can replace silver, especially for as cheap as it is. I mean, look if someone was to use gold instead of silver. An ounce of gold, almost $2,000. Ounce of silver, $25. I mean, think about how much more production costs would be if we used something more expensive to the end of gold. So it's just really interesting, and it's honestly mind-blowing to think it's $25 for how useful it is. Gold doesn't have all these uses. Gold is used more for jewelry, coins, right? Bars, necklaces, earrings, rings. So you would think that silver would be more expensive, more valuable than gold, since silver is used so much more in the everyday world. It's very fascinating. And maybe gold could be more valuable because it comes out of the ground roughly 8 to 1. But think of it like this. It comes out of the ground 8 to 1, but gold is remelted. Silver is lost. So it's actually smaller than that because the recirculating supply of gold is pretty high. Most gold that gets dug up gets recycled. Most silver that gets dug up gets thrown away. So yes, it comes out of the ground 8 to 1, but I bet the ratio is more like 4 to 1, not 8 to 1. And looking at, even if the price was 8 to 1 or even 16 to 1, why is silver 80 times less valuable or 80 times cheaper than gold? Think about it. It's 80 times less valuable, but the ratio is 8 to 1, and silver is used for so many other things that gold isn't. So looking at that, it's blatantly obvious to see that silver is extremely undervalued. So if you're trying to pick or trying to decide whether to invest into silver or gold, it should be a no-brainer. Gold is overvalued, silver is undervalued. So as an investor, wouldn't you want to invest into the undervalued thing? Because when the correction occurs, or when silver does start correcting back towards gold's price, that's only going to mean that silver is going to profit more. That's why it's more volatile. That's also why my name is Silver Slayer, not Gold Slayer, right? So I just think this type of stuff is interesting. If you wanted to go on and read this 5-page PDF file talking about this stuff, you can. I didn't really want to go into the details. I just wanted to highlight, how much more useful silver is going to be in the upcoming years and what that's going to do to not only the supply and demand, but the price as well, right? You can't put this stuff off. You can't sweep this under the rug. You have to acknowledge this. Even if someone doesn't agree with silver, thinks it's a bear market, thinks it's a bad investment, these are things you have to consider because this is going to show where the price is headed. I mean, if this, let's put it like this. If I was, if I was investing into Bitcoin or stocks, something that's not even precious metals related, and I'm, I would have to do my research with everything, just like I keep up with stocks, just like I keep up with Bitcoin, right? So if I read this article and I didn't invest in the silver, I would have to acknowledge that this all looks pretty bullish, right? Because if I didn't, then that's me keeping a biased perspective. That's me blatantly it just looking past and only picking apart what I want to hear. But we have to be open-minded as investors. We have to be honest. If I see something or if I hear something that could make silver bearish or could hold silver back from being profitable, I'm going to talk about it on this channel, and I'm going to look at it. I'm not just going to say, oh, I'm not going to try to deem it off or say that's fake news or whatever. I have to incorporate all angles. I can't just come from a biased opinion, because that could hinder my silver stacking strategy, right? At the end of the day, we have to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. We have to be transparent with our information. So anyways, I thought this was pretty interesting. I think I mean, I think you guys like this type of stuff, right? I know we try to look at the most important, most influential factors that especially going forwards over the next year, since there's going to be so many things happening, that's going to affect silver's price. I don't like to talk about too much of the extra details, but I do like to keep you guys informed with what is happening, how innovative silver is becoming, so on and so forth. But what did you think about this article? Did you think this was cool? Did you think this was interesting? And also comparing it back to this first article, it's honestly crazy how much more severe things are. They're talking about 100 million ounces, and we're talking about 300 million ounces, and that was in the year 2019 alone. I mean, things are getting so much crazier than people expected, but that is also because we have a global pandemic on our hands and looking at the direction we're going technologically. We're headed into a new digital era. A new normal is happening, and we have to get used to that. A lot of people aren't desensitized to it yet. They will become, and that's also when people will start accepting silver and higher silver prices. Look at Bitcoin. $18,000 Bitcoin now, people are desensitized to it. That's the new normal. Back in the day when Bitcoin was 1,800, if you talked about $18,000 Bitcoin, people would say you're crazy. But now, since it's here, people accept it. And now $1,800 Bitcoin sounds crazy. Same thing is going to happen with silver. Right now, $50 silver, $100 silver sounds crazy. But then when it's at $50, $100 silver, $25 silver is going to sound crazy. So we have to remember, we have to look at it realistically, and how times are changing, prices are changing, markets are changing, people are changing. Everything's ever changing, and we have to adjust and adapt. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Make sure you enter my giveaway. This is probably going to be the last video I post where you have a chance. So this is your last chance. If you're not subscribed, if you have not entered my 34,000 subscriber giveaway, you are missing out on a huge opportunity to win a lot of expensive silver. I'm telling you guys, this is a big giveaway. I'm giving away 5 ounces of $30, $40, $50 coins, maybe even $70, $80 coins. Or one coin itself is $80, and that's not including the other 4 ounces. And the members only giveaway is a coin that's crazy. So you definitely want to be entered. You do not want to miss this. And I'm going to keep giving away bigger prizes as my channel grows, as I gain more subscribers. My 50,000 subscriber giveaway is going to be absolutely insane. So that's also why you got to be subscribed. Not only am I going to give you the inside scoop on a daily basis of what's happening, how the market's being affected, and also what you should do about it, but also I'm going to do a lot of audience engaging things to try to draw you guys in. I have an Instagram now. You guys can DM me. We can talk. You can show me your silver stack. I'm just trying to innovate the precious metals world, and also engage with you guys, because I love talking about silver, and I'm sure you guys do as well. So I like meeting you guys. I like seeing your favorite coins or hearing your stacking strategy. I like that stuff as well. So thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. Make sure to enter my giveaway. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.